All right, so I'm super excited to have Carol Marzouk with us. She is the executive Lion Tamer, and she's going to answer questions about organizational change. So we're talking about workplace culture in this remote world that we're all living in. Look at us right now. I'm in Denver. She is in California. So I have some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the biggest challenge to changing toxic workplace culture in this remote world? When you're like, you do your things on Zoom and all that, what's your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge my clients are seeing, and that I'm getting calls about, is distance bias. So, when we're not close together, people tend to distrust each other more, and which, is the complete opposite of proximity bias, which is if you're sitting next to me, I trust you more inherently. And so they've actually done studies. I think it was either McKinsey or Gallup, one of the two. They've done studies and they've noticed that throughout this remote time, people's trust has lowered with their coworkers. And they think that they're talking more behind their back just because they're not in the same workspace. And so that has led to a lot more conflict and a lot more dissension. And so that's one of the biggest things. And the other thing is, I'm going to say, being falsely positive when someone doesn't know the answer to something. So I'm noticing that some of the people managers and executives, because they don't know the answer, they're trying to be Pollyanna-ish, and they're like, yeah, we can do this, and yeah, we know the answer, and yeah. And that actually is not what we should be doing. What we should be doing is being honest and saying we don't know, right? And being very clear in our communications. And when we don't know, what I tell my clients is focus on what you do know. And what you do know is that you're going to make decisions based on your values. And if your values are integrity and communicating, on time and clearly and whatever it is, right? And your people, focus on that and say, I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that whatever decision we make is going to be based on those values that we have. And so I think those are the biggest ones right now, Leilani.
Yeah. I can't imagine a distance bias. Even, I'm hearing employers talk about having their employees remote, wondering if they're working and because they cannot see them and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I truly think that everybody's trying their best right now, though.
I think so too. And, and when I have CEOs that tell me that, or executives that tell me that, I say, I have to refocus them, and I have to say, okay, let's just say that they're not working. Let's just say that they're eating bonbons and watching Netflix all day long. What would we be seeing out of them then? What is the productivity that we would be seeing? And is that what we're seeing?
Exactly. Accountability measures versus assuming that someone isn't doing the work. I totally agree.
Yeah.
What's one small way that leaders can do today to begin a positive transformation in their cultures? Just one small way.
One small way. I think that they need to connect at least on a weekly basis. It doesn't have to be for a very long time. It could literally be 5-10 minutes. And just ask them, hey, how are you showing up today? What's going on today for you? That's it. That's the small way.
That's great advice. And then finally, my last question, your name, your tagline, the executive Lion Tamer. How did you get that?
Oh my goodness. So that was because I was referred to, I work with lawyers as well. And I was referred to somebody who was a rainmaker for a law firm. And when I met with him, he said, oh, Carol, nothing personal, but I don't need your help, right? I make a ton of money for this firm. And without me, they wouldn't have the firm. And so I said, it's okay. Here's my card. I'm not a match for everyone, which is absolutely true. Right. And so if you know of anyone that's coachable, or if anyone, that might need me, here's my card, and let them give me a call. And I really thought, Leilani, that he would throw away my card. And about a month and a week later, I didn't have any sleep for like 3 days. And I think everything is funny when I don't sleep. And so when he called me, he said, do you remember me? And I said, yeah, of course I remember you. And he said, well, I just threw a chair across the conference room and I almost hit an associate. In fact, I grazed her shoulder. And so I don't know why I thought that was funny. And so I said, well, are you calling me because you need better aim? And so he said, this is not funny, Carol. This is, now we have a lawsuit. And the person who referred you to us told us that if anyone can get rid of this lawsuit, it would be you. If anyone could talk her out of it, it would be you. And so now we've got this lawsuit, and now I'm coachable, and we need your help. And so, of course, that story, when I was sharing that with some folks that we both know, they just said, God, it's like you're always taming lions, that are throwing chairs, that are doing this. And so somebody in that group, Pete Templer, said, you're the executive lion tamer. And that just stuck. And then my clients loved it. And they started sending me all this lion stuff and whips and, hats and all this stuff. They thought it was great. And so that's how it came about, Leilani.
That's awesome. Well, you do wonderful work. And I do appreciate you spending time and educating us on all things remote and how to change workplace culture. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.